All right, good morning. The next microscopic organism we're going to see, it's bacteria. We already saw viruses and now we're moving on to bacteria. Bacteria, remember that we said that viruses are not living, and this is the very first difference with the bacteria. Bacteria are living organisms, they are alive. So if you have a bacterial infection and you sneeze, and your sneeze fell on your notebook, bacteria are going to multiply and your whole notebook is going to be later filled with bacteria because they are alive and they can multiply by themselves. A bacteria is a single-celled organism that lacks a nucleus, but it has the DNA inside of it. It's not arranged like the animal cell, but it does have the genetic material on the inside. A bacteria, it has a cell membrane, but it also has a cell wall that protects it. It has this hair-like structures that are called flagellas, and flagellas is so that the bacteria, they move, and that helps the bacteria move, all right? Flagellas kind of like make them swim, all right? That's for them to move. And on the inside, they have their DNA or their RNA. So bacteria can multiply wherever they fall. How does a bacteria eat? Do bacteria eat? Of course they need to eat. All right, all of the living things need to eat. But bacteria are different. Some of them can be autotrophs. Remember that autotrophs are organisms that are able to make their own food. How are bacteria able to make their own food? Some of them are going to grab the energy from the sun and are going to convert it to food. And some other are going to grab the chemicals from the ground. Remember that we have bacteria on the oceans or on the rivers. And some of them are so far down that they do not see the sun. So they're going to grab the chemicals that are underneath the mud. And they're going to convert it to energy. And that's how they're able to survive. All right, bacteria can survive long periods of time even though it's not infecting a body. Some bacteria can be heterotrophs. Remember that heterotrophic organisms are organisms that are not able to make their own food, so they need to feed on leaves or fruits, and these leaves can be dead or they can be alive. They can also feed on milk products. They love to feed on milk products. I'm pretty sure you've heard that yogurt is made with bacteria, and it's true, but the bacteria that are in the yogurt are very good for your body and you need them. That's the reason why I always tell you, you need to eat a yogurt once in a while because it has good bacteria that helps your digestive organism. And also some bacteria like to live on meat, all right? The ones that like to live on meat are a little bit dangerous. And again, that's the reason why when your mother goes to a supermarket and she buys meat, she always washes it. All right, that's why you need to wash your meat before you eat it. And of course, cook it well so that you kill these bacteria, because the bacteria that live on meat are dangerous. All right, they're bad for you. But the ones that live on milk, they're very good. But this doesn't mean that you're not able to eat meat. You can eat meat, of course, and your body needs it because you need proteins. This just means that you need to wash it well before you eat it, and you need to cook it well through. All right, so going back. Bacteria are alive. So bacteria, wherever they fall, they're going to multiply because they are alive. They're not dead, they're alive. All right, not like a virus. So bacteria can reproduce anywhere they fall. And how are they going to reproduce? They can reproduce by a process that is called binary fission, where one bacteria is going to start splitting in half and it's going to produce two bacteria, kind of like mitosis. Just that in a bacteria it's not called mitosis, it's called binary fission. Or bacteria can also reproduce sexually, which means that two bacteria are going to combine their genetic material and are going to produce two bacteria with combined genetic material. Sexual reproduction in bacteria does not increase the number of bacteria, it just changes the genetic composition. And this is the reason why, if you take so many antibiotics when you get a sore throat or tonsillitis, which is amygdalitis, eventually you get a resistance because bacteria change their genetic composition and they become different. Now, do you think that all bacteria are bad? Because normally when we talk about bacteria, we think about diseases and all. But do you think, are all bacteria bad? The answer is a big no. Some bacteria are good and some of them are very good. Did you know that cheese is made with bacteria? Did you know that yogurt is made with good bacteria? Or pickles are also made with good bacteria, same as soy sauce. There's even medicine that's made of bacteria. So bacteria, it's not bad. Not all of the bacteria are all bad. And you know what's the best about bacteria? Bacteria are decomposers. This means that bacteria are able to eat the trash that humans drop in the world because they decompose and they feed on that. So bacteria are not bad microorganisms. Of course, there are bad microorganisms and some of them are able to cause diseases, but some of them are really good and we need to look at the bright side of the bacteria. All right, so if we get a bad bacteria, let's say you get an infection of a bacteria, because they can also cause infections. All right, so a bacteria can cause a disease. How do we treat bacterial infection? We need, same as the viral infection, but here we need antibiotics. Antibiotics are only good for bacteria. And this antibiotic, what's gonna make? All right, let's figure you're drinking a pill. This is your pill. And it goes to the bacteria. All right, this pill is gonna make the bacteria start filtering. It starts making scraps. All right, so eventually bacteria breaks into pieces and they die. So an antibiotic kills bacteria, not viruses, just bacteria. What's the other thing I need to do if I have a bacteria infection? I need, again, drink water. Why? Because if my body's hydrated, my whole body's gonna work well. And again, we need to eat well. If you eat well, you're not gonna get infections because your body is ready to respond. Your immune system is gonna be okay, so it's gonna kill everything that it sees that's not from your body. And of course, again, move. Make exercise. A healthy body is gonna help you combat all of the infections you can possibly get. All right, so this is how we treat bacteria. We have the antibiotics, which is the most important one because it kills the surface of bacteria and it breaks it to pieces. Drink water, eat well, and move. And we also, on bacteria, we also have something, again, called vaccines. All right? What's a vaccine again? A vaccine is made out, in this case, of dead bacteria. And as I explained you in the video of virus, this dead bacteria is gonna go inside your body, it's gonna infect, so your white blood cells are gonna start producing an army against it and are gonna go to kill it. But since it's already dead, they're gonna be stored in your body, all right? They are stored in your body, and whenever you present the real infection, let's say you get a tuberculosis vaccine, which is on your arm. If you have a scar on your arm, that's it, all right? La cicatriz que tienen en su brazo. That's for tuberculosis bacteria. So they put you inside that bacteria, and whenever you breathe in tuberculosis, your body's gonna go directly to that microorganism and it's gonna kill it. So vaccines are to prevent. Vaccines prevent the disease. All right, they do not cure it, they prevent. Antibiotics, they cure. All right, so there we have the difference between bacteria and viruses and the way we treat each other differently. So hope you understand, and if you don't, please send me a message.